about the team, the culture. I mean, not just your two guys, but just the whole team.
I get it. I get it. There's a lot of conversation out there that, there's a lot of pressures on these guys of, who plays, who doesn't play, bowl game, combine, all those things. And I just, Mike does a great job of just having an overall umbrella over this football program of selflessness, service, and I think this is just another way that our team shows it.
Where can Jared improve if you do advocate for him to come back next year?
That's a broad question. There's a lot of ways. But listen, he's had a really good year. He's pushed himself in multiple ways. He's grown tremendously. But just like any player, we have first team all conference players that got to get better in multiple ways. I'm probably not going to go down the list of them for him, but that's for me and him. But I think, whether you come back in your first round pick or your fifth round pick or your backup, there's going to be ways of improvement that we're going to do collectively and individually. And Jared will be no different.
Where do you feel like the defense made the biggest strides this year?
Just playing connected and together. Our selflessness right now, Andrea, is just really impressive. I think we've made so many strides on our ability to deal with success. Before it was like, we'd give a 3 and out, or we'd take the ball away, and then the offense would score, and we would get so excited, and then something bad would happen, and it'd be like, I can't believe it. And now it's like the expectation, But now you got to deal with, when you don't have right away success. When you gave up a couple scores in that Florida game, our guys were frustrated, but it didn't. Whether it's success or frustration, they're dealing with it in the right way, in the right perspective. So I just think the growth of how they've dealt with things, both with success, because we've had that this year, and then when we had that 3-game losing streak, it was more frustration, like I know we can be better, and then they've applied that.
I want to ask you about Jerry Jones. He came out after the Florida game. You probably saw it. Basically saying that we've misrepresented him, that he's been misrepresented by fan base, media, that he feels like he's had a great year. And wondering, just from your perspective, what you feel like is maybe misunderstood about Jerry, and where you feel like he really proved himself this year.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to ask Jerry. I don't. We all get frustrated, based off of things before. I just think he's an emotional person in a positive way. He's made a lot of strides this year. First of all, he's been healthy, but he's really stepped up here, especially at the end of the year. And there's different things that drive different individuals, and I just hope that didn't take away from his growth and his improvement, because he has. And he really is, he cares a lot about this football team, and sometimes guys represent themselves with energy and passion, and it comes off whatever way, but I love him. I think he's really taken a lot of strides, and he's important to this team.
How beneficial is a bowl in the sense of carry over to next year?
What's that?
How beneficial is a bowl game in the sense of carry over to the next season?
Well, typically you're usually coaching these every year, and it's part of the yearly calendar. This is our first one here, but it's a continuation of the growth that you have with them, But there's things, if you're not practicing, that you can learn from guys and you can help them grow. But I think the on-the-field application, there's really no replacement. We try to do it as coaches, but when you can create 15 more practices, it gives you opportunity to create different roles. It gives Omar Graham and Daniel Lyons the ability to practice more. It gives maybe your opportunity to change positions with some guys, and you can't replace game experience. And the only thing close to that is practice experience in pads on the field. And so when you have more of that, as long as you're smart with how you apply that, I think that's where you can get the most growth.
Jump starts you for the spring, I presume, outside of the guys that are new to the building?
There is a little bit of continuation of everything. We always like to say this season ends here and this season starts here, and that's true with the roster. But I don't think that's true with work ethic or preparation. So I think you can build, and there can be a continuation of carry-on effect.
Feels like maybe that can be the case this year, considering the guys that you're going to have coming back, and coupled with what you said, the learning process of knowing what it takes to be able to win. I don't know if it feels more critical this year compared to other times you've experienced it?
Yeah, I feel like we've been coaching a lot of the guys for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, and like
Yeah.
they say they're coming back, and I'm like, well, yes, there's a lot of guys that have played a lot of football.
Yeah.
And you know, our first year, I've said before, we had to play a lot of these guys, and they just weren't ready physically, and they had to learn on the fire. But you know, I think with where we're at now, Andrea, it's just, you know, our guys understand what it looks like each day. You know, and even I thought it was one of our best moments. We beat Florida. We gave them 3 or 4 days off. We're gonna have a team meeting at 7:30 in the morning, 7:45, and I usually stand with Coach Novella out in the hall. And our entire team was about 10, 15 minutes early. We didn't know who we were playing. We didn't know who was moving on in the NFL, but everybody was there, and they were ready to go. And we had one of our best practices. I think that says a lot about our football team. And the players did that. That wasn't the coaches.
Do you feel like, Adam, at the time when you first got here, it was like you were kind of coaching from behind a little bit, and now you guys are actually kind of coaching ahead because, like you said, you don't have to necessarily teach them every little, you know, to follow the routines that you guys have put into place?
I think, I mean, you said coaching behind. I just, you know, with 2 practices, COVID hit. Next thing you know, the clock's ticking to that first game, and you're still getting to know them. And then, you know, now you fail in the first couple games, and now it's just, you know, it all helped us to get to this point. I would have liked to change it. You know, I would have liked to win a bunch of games in year 1. We didn't, but those opportunities gave us the opportunity to coach what the moment was at that time. And we just try to be the best in all those moments. That's all we do.